A recent investigation into fan communities surrounding K-pop groups, particularly EXO, has revealed concerning patterns of behavior among certain individuals. These patterns include the deliberate spreading of false information, attempts to infiltrate official fan groups under false pretenses, and ongoing harassment targeted at both other fans and the idols themselves. Such actions have significant implications not only for the online fan community but also for the personal privacy and well-being of those involved. Among the individuals identified, one user, known as WL, has openly admitted to submitting malicious tips and posts. Comprehensive evidence confirms these submissions, demonstrating that the behavior is deliberate rather than accidental. WL has repeatedly attempted to infiltrate official fan groups under false pretenses, posing as a loyal fan while attempting to manipulate discussions and influence the community. This activity highlights a pattern of organized attempts to destabilize fan communities through misinformation. Another individual, 54 Panmimi, has also admitted to creating malicious submissions. In addition to this, 54 Panmimi has actively encouraged other members of the community to submit false information. This behavior demonstrates an intentional effort to create confusion and spread disinformation among fans. The question arises, if someone truly respects and supports the artists, why would they invest time and energy in fabricating stories and misleading fellow fans? This illustrates how some individuals misuse fandom spaces for manipulation and attention rather than for genuine support. A third figure, xoi.dontcare, has repeatedly promoted unverified claims regarding supposed encounters between EXO members and private individuals. In particular, the user has insisted that certain Hong Kong encounter photos represent a specific person, claiming that these images were taken by her friend's friend's friend, while tracking the individual's private life. However, multiple aspects of these claims remain unverifiable. Group members themselves have admitted that the exact source of the photos is unknown. The identities of the so-called friends involved are unclear. No high-resolution versions of the photos have been seen. There is no confirmation of authenticity regarding the images. Despite the lack of verifiable evidence, these individuals continue to fabricate and force narratives, attempting to convince others that private lives are public property. Such actions constitute harassment and are a violation of ethical standards within fan communities. They also underscore a broader issue. When unverified content is treated as fact, it can quickly spread, creating unnecessary tension, false narratives, and emotional harm. Analysis of chat records from the group reveals systematic attempts to identify and target specific individuals online. These activities include monitoring social media accounts, selectively interpreting posts, and producing evidence where none exists. This behavior not only invades privacy but also undermines the credibility of fan communities, creating distrust among members. Fan spaces, intended to celebrate and support idols, become arenas of suspicion and manipulation when such activities are allowed to persist. The motivations behind these behaviors appear to be complex. Some individuals may seek attention or social influence within the community, while others may be driven by jealousy or a desire to provoke conflict. Regardless of the underlying motivations, the consequences remain the same: harm to innocent individuals, distortion of the truth, and disruption of the positive fan culture that many work to cultivate. Experts in online behavior note that digital harassment and misinformation can have serious psychological impacts. Victims of targeted misinformation may experience stress, anxiety, or social withdrawal. In extreme cases, they may feel unsafe engaging in online spaces altogether. Within fandoms, where communities are built on shared passion and trust, the erosion of trust can lead to fragmentation and long-term damage to communal bonds. To address these issues, it is essential for fan communities to adopt clear standards for behavior. Transparency, evidence-based discussion, and respect for privacy are critical. Users should avoid sharing unverified content, targeting others' private lives, or encouraging false narratives. When questionable information arises, community members can verify sources before dissemination. Reporting harmful behavior to moderators and supporting those targeted can prevent escalation and maintain the integrity of the community. Platforms hosting fan communities also have a role to play. By implementing effective moderation tools, creating clear guidelines for acceptable behavior, and responding promptly to reports of harassment, these platforms can reduce the risk of misinformation spreading unchecked. Education on digital literacy and responsible online behavior can further empower fans to distinguish between genuine content and malicious submissions. It is also important to acknowledge the responsibility of individual fans. Supporting idols involves celebrating their work and achievements, engaging positively with other fans, and respecting boundaries both online and offline. Encouraging or participating in rumor spreading, harassment, or invasive monitoring contradicts the principles of genuine fandom and can cause long-lasting harm. Fans who recognize such behavior should speak out and model ethical conduct, reinforcing a culture of respect and positivity. The issues uncovered in the EXO fan community are not unique. Similar patterns have been observed in other fandoms, where misinformation, harassment, and attention-seeking behavior have disrupted communities and targeted individuals. By studying these patterns, communities can develop preventative strategies, educate members, and implement safeguards to minimize harm. Collaborative efforts among fans, moderators, and platforms can create safer spaces for all participants. Ultimately, protecting the integrity of fan communities requires vigilance, accountability, and collective action. Fans should prioritize verified information, treat fellow members with respect, and actively discourage malicious behavior. By doing so, communities can remain spaces of enjoyment, support, and shared enthusiasm for the idols they admire. The cases of users such as WL54panmimi and xoi.dontcare serve as cautionary examples. They highlight the risks of unchecked rumor spreading, deliberate harassment, and false narrative creation. While these individuals represent a small subset of the fanbase, their actions have a disproportionate impact, illustrating the need for strong community standards and proactive moderation. Communities can also benefit from fostering education on online safety and digital ethics. Teaching fans how to identify misinformation, respect privacy, and engage responsibly helps reduce opportunities for exploitation. Encouraging empathy and ethical conduct reinforces a culture where the well-being of both idols and fans is prioritized. In conclusion, the investigation into these malicious activities emphasizes the importance of ethical engagement within fandoms. False rumors, privacy violations, and harassment are harmful behaviors that compromise community integrity. Fans, moderators, and platforms must work together to prevent the spread of misinformation, uphold respectful conduct, and cultivate positive, safe spaces where shared enthusiasm for idols can thrive. True fandom is not measured by the quantity of information one can collect or the ability to uncover others' private lives, it is demonstrated through support, integrity, and responsible participation in the fan community. By fostering awareness, promoting accountability, and encouraging ethical behavior, fans can ensure that online spaces remain enjoyable, inclusive, and respectful. Only through such collective effort can fandoms retain their intended purpose, celebrating the artistry, talent, and dedication of idols while protecting the well-being of all involved.